Hi, my name is Diana Lopez and I am the audience.
Hi, my name is Joanna Lopez, and the title of my speech is It Does Not Discriminate. During the course of your life, you will face external forces that will bring about changes in your finances, family matters, career, and all other important parts of your daily life. But what if these changes occurred as a result of internal forces? Forces which you had no control over. Every day you feel as though you are being consumed with anguish and fear. And what used to be routine now seems almost impossible to achieve. These thoughts, which you cannot control, take over your mind until they become an obsession. Ties are cut between family and friends, and before you know it, the life you used to have has been replaced by this unavoidable nightmare. The force I speak of is actually a mental illness known as an anxiety disorder, and I will inform you of the three most common types. The three main types are generalized anxiety disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, and panic disorders. As a licensed vocational nurse who has studied and trained to work with individuals who suffer from mental illnesses, and I have also had direct interactions with individuals on the field and off, I feel I am suitable to inform you on this topic. As I will explain to you the types of anxiety, I will also inform you of how anxiety affects those who suffer from it, and also how, as a society, we have associated stigma in regards to this and other mental illnesses. Before I explain the main types of anxiety, it is important to explain the difference between the feeling of anxiety as a result of a stressor and an actual anxiety disorder. The words I want you to remember are cause and control. When we experience anxiety, it is a direct result of change that is occurring, some sort of stressor. But an individual who suffers from an anxiety disorder experiences anxiety for no reason and is unable to control such feelings of worry and fear. Now that you understand the difference between a disorder and the feeling of anxiety, I will break down the main types of anxiety disorders. The first type is known as a general anxiety disorder, or GAD, and it is characterized by persisting excessive worry about everyday things. An individual who suffers from GAD has exaggerated worry or tension, is over-concerned with money, family, and work, and becomes anxious at the thought of getting through the day. The second type of anxiety disorder is known as an obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD. An individual who has an obsessive compulsive disorder experiences unwanted thoughts resulting in excessive anxiety. These obsessive thoughts result in ritualistic behavior that temporarily eases the anxiety they feel. It is important to know that an individual who suffers from OCD is aware of his problem, his or her problem. But this is not certain for a child. They may or may not know that they have a problem. The third most common anxiety disorder is a panic disorder. A panic disorder is one in which the individual spontaneously experiences panic attacks. A panic attack is characterized by intense fear and discomfort, and the associated symptoms such as the pounding heart, sweating, trembling, dizziness, fear of losing control, and even fear of dying. A person who suffers from a panic disorder is preoccupied with the possibility of a recurring panic attack, which leads to a growing fear and results in the individual avoiding places he or she believes might precipitate an attack. Anxiety disorders drastically affect the life of the individual who suffers from such disorders. And because of this, it is common for such individuals to have another type of mental illness, like a different anxiety disorder and or depression. Because individuals who suffer from anxiety disorders know they cannot control the feelings of fear and anguish, they withdraw from family and friends. They may avoid public spaces and areas of socialization. Victims of anxiety disorders may stop going to work or school and may even refuse to leave the safety of their home out of fear that any situation will trigger anxiety. Their day consists of unavoidable thoughts and obsessive rituals. Anxiety is the only thing they can think about. Anxiety consumes their life. As a society, we do not understand what occurs in the minds of individuals who suffer from an anxiety disorder. This is directly correlated with how we fear what we do not comprehend, and therefore places stigma on individuals who are affected by mental illnesses. Avoidance and isolation of individuals with mental illnesses is largely due to this stigma. Take me, for example. When I reached the mental health clinical section of my vocational nursing program, my first emotion was fear. And my following thoughts only involved topics of violence, crazy lunatics, and drug-induced mental illnesses. What an eye-opener it was for me to find out just how variable the cause and effects of mental illnesses are. Yes, some mental illnesses are drug-induced, but not all. Individuals with illnesses may act out violently or aggressively, but this does not mean all people with mental illnesses will. By going into this unit, I realized the complexity of such illnesses. And most importantly, I realized that my preconceived belief about people with mental illnesses was wrong. If there is anything I hope you learned from me today, it is this. A person with an anxiety disorder cannot control what they feel. The most common types of anxiety disorders are generalized anxiety disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, and panic disorders. Symptoms of anxiety disorders include excessive worry and fear, panic attacks, and compulsive rituals. These symptoms often cause the individual to become withdrawn and secluded. Because misinformation causes our society to think about people with mental illnesses negatively, a sort of stigma has been set in place for this topic. Tonight I leave you with one last note that I hope you remember. Anxiety disorders do not discriminate. They can happen to anyone. They can happen to you. So think twice and well inform yourself before you judge an individual with a mental illness.